Hmm. So, this is my first video, and yeah. But I did have an idea on what to talk about first. The concept of this whole, I guess you could say, video experiment is to go and dissect as much as possible about race and interracial relationships, whether it's just being friends or, boyfriend, girlfriend, or even, in the end, marrying. But let's start off at the very beginning. Race is a term that a lot of people do use, but not many people understand that it's more like stating different breeds of dogs. To be all fair and honest, I don't like using it because race seems more like a block term. It's almost like saying that's a shape and you can't say anything else about it, and that's it. But I like using the term ethnicity because it gives the person more of a, I guess you could say, a leeway in actually defining themselves. So to start off, like stated, race, I'm going to be using this 1994 college dictionary. Look at that. That's huge. Ooh, I think I skipped it. A local, geographic, or global human population distinguished as a more or less distinct group by genetically transmitted physical appearances. Supposedly, because I'm black, I should be able to go to Africa immediately and find somebody who looks exactly like me based off of my facial features. But that's not true. Some scientists have actually found that individuals, let's say you have a person that's Caucasian, they are more genetically similar to a person who's Korean than someone else who happens to be Caucasian. It's the same thing with people from other races. Like, for instance, my friend Cody. Cody's a Haitian guy, whatever. But I'm not genetically similar to him. I would actually be more genetically similar to my friend Shannon because there's a variation of more or less genetics going around the world. People are mixing, and they were doing it before the term race showed up, so they're going to continue doing it afterward, and it would make sense. And another reason why I don't really care for the term race is it limits a lot of people. Like, for me, I'm not just, I have African, ancestry, yes, but I'm not African. Yeah, there becomes a bit of a stipulation and an issue whenever I, go to fill out paperwork and they ask me if I'm black, or I've seen on some of them Negro, and I'm like, I'm not sure how to answer this question. I'm not just African. I'm Blackfoot Native American on my mother's side. I'm also another type of native tribe. On my father's side, we're still trying to figure that one out. And I'm also Irish on my father's side. Hence the last name. It's Irish. Though a lot of people would say, oh, well, maybe your family, maybe they were slaves and given that name, so you think you're, Irish. No, my great grandmother's maiden name was McSwain, and she was Native American and Irish. So that tells me a lot. But it limits me whenever I try to actually go and fill out paperwork or try to introduce myself. People immediately go, oh, she's a black girl. It limits the individual, and that's why I would rather people talk more like ethnicities. Like, yes, I happen to be an American who happens to be brown, but my ethnicity is black American, more or less. I hate that. I hate the term that they use, white and black. It's a little annoying because it's almost like, I wish I had my color pencils with me. It's like stating that we're crayon colors. I'm not a crayon color. And neither are people who are Caucasian. And I think it also limits those that are Caucasian, because whenever they have to go fill something out, they can't sit here and say, yes, I happen to be 1/5 Italian and 3/4 Japanese, and I also happen to be English. No, they can't state that. They're just white. And even people that come from Africa who happen to be Caucasian in complexion, state that they're African, and most of the time they get a lot of crap for it. They're like, "Oh, you're not black." And last time I checked, there's just not only black people in Africa. There's a lot of people. My idea is, just go ahead and state ethnicity. That way the person has more free range to talk about, their heritage and what they feel they are, and things of that nature. But at the same time, don't belittle each other over the fact that now race has become this big thing. And I'm not trying to, make it seem smaller, but the idea of categorizing people upper and lower than each other based off of race is a bit harsh. Some people do have privileges, and it allows them to go through life without being hassled. I've been hassled plenty of times. The main idea of this is don't allow the idea of race cloud your judgment about other ethnicities. Allow yourself more free range to actually converse and talk with people. Make it to where it's not too invasive, because I've had some people be very invasive with me and try to make me the spokesperson for every black woman in America, and that doesn't really work. When you actually are asking these questions, before you open your mouth, before anyone opens their mouth about any culture, I'm not just saying just black or white, or, however you decide to specify yourself, or African, or Haitian, or American black, or Irish, or anything, before you open your mouth, think really hard before actually asking the question. I've asked some questions about Italians before, because I have a friend of mine who's Italian. I basically was like, there's that stereotype that all of you are allowed. I know that's not true, but I would like to know, is there some other stuff, that you happen to realize about certain stereotypes about Italians that you don't like? And if you happen to find any of them, can we discuss them? Because I feel a little left out when it comes down to that particular ethnicity. So she actually went on this wonderful tangent, kind of like how I'm doing, but this wonderful tangent about, yeah, some of us are loud, but not all of us are loud. Yes, we like eating, pasta, but not all of us like pasta. Some of us are actually lactose intolerant. No, we don't always drink wine. Actually, in my family, we're not allowed to drink wine until we're, 21. And even then, our parents are like, you only have a little, So they're human beings as well. They have their differences just like how others have their differences. Yes, there's that small group of individuals that literally are used for every stereotype and then thrown out into the world, and this is what everybody else does. No, that's not how it works. There's so many other things that I've heard with stereotypes with African Americans that becomes an issue whenever someone actually talks to somebody and realizes that's not how all of them are. And yes, granted, yes, I happen to be, more or less an advocate for to change the word race to ethnicity, but don't sit here and state that, oh, well, I just want everybody to be the same. No. We should actually celebrate our differences. It's okay to celebrate differences. If you are a white man, say that you're happy to be a white man. Yes, please state that at the bottom. I'm being very serious. If you're happy where you are, be happy where you are. But don't make other people feel uncomfortable about where you are. Like, I can literally sit here and say, I am proud to be a brown American, and I'm happy exactly where I am. To be all fair and honest, this whole thing is about coming together as a team, more or less, and trying to not hate each other. This whole experiment is about this, and I'm trying to figure out more and more and more about people's relationships with other people of other ethnicities. Not just, note I state this so very keenly, not just African blacks or American whites. I mean Southeastern Indian individuals, the Aborigines from Australia, Ukrainians. I'm saying everybody, as depth as you can go into it, go as far as you can. And please send me as many questions as you want in the comments below. But for right now, my rant, I think I'm done with my rant because I'm beginning to get a headache from my loudness. So, this has been Black, White, Rainbow. Hope you guys have a lot of fun listening to my rant, and hopefully it comes together a little bit more cohesively next time with actual questions, and I am hoping that you guys do send me some in the comments below.